Bonjour tout le monde! So in this video, we're going to learn the easy basics of how to form a negative sentence in French. Stay tuned. Bonjour tout le monde and welcome back to Learn French with Nat. So in this video, we're going to go over how to make a negative sentence in French. This is going to be a part 1 of 2 videos of how to form a negative sentence. In this video, we're keeping things super simple, very clear, and we're going to focus on the present tense only. And I'll be sure to go over plenty of examples to make sure that it's very clear for you. And at the end of the video, we're going to go over how to say a negative sentence in conversational French. It's a little bit different and maybe a little bit simpler than written French, so make sure you stick to the end for that, okay? Let's get started. Okay, let's start with the basics. First of all, a negative sentence in French is called une phrase négative. Une phrase négative. Négative. Une phrase négative. Okay? And to form a negative sentence, you need to sandwich your conjugated verb between 2 words. And they're the words ne and pas, right here, okay? So you have ne, conjugated verb, and pas. We've sandwiched a verb between those 2 words, okay? Pretty simple. Okay, let's go over a few examples. So, tu parles français, you speak French. To form the negative sentence, we sandwich the verb parle. So it becomes tu ne parles pas français. Tu ne parles pas français. Okay? You want to try to say it with me? Tu ne parles pas français. Okay? Okay, let's look at another example. Okay? Je chante bien. I don't sing well, okay? Anyways, je chante bien. So to form the negative sentence, you sandwich the verb again. Je ne chante pas bien. Je ne chante pas bien. Okay? Let's go over one more example in this case. Nous venons ce soir means we're coming tonight. Nous venons ce soir. Again, let's sandwich the verb. Nous ne venons pas ce soir. Nous ne venons pas ce soir. Okay? Pretty simple. You guys getting a hang of it? Okay. Let's go over another important point here, okay? I want to point out here that ne and pas are the most frequently used words we would use in a negative sentence in French, but you could also use other ones like ne plus, ne jamais, and there's a few other ones, okay? But ne pas is the most commonly used ones. But let's go over a sentence example with ne plus and ne jamais, okay? Je mange de la viande. I eat meat. Je mange de la viande. You could say, je ne mange plus de la viande. Je ne mange plus de la viande, okay? I don't eat meat anymore. Again, this is the same structure as before, right? We're just replacing pas with plus. Or you could say, je ne mange jamais de la viande, which means I never eat meat. Je ne mange jamais de la viande. Je ne mange jamais de la viande. Okay? Same idea, same structure. We've just replaced pas by plus and jamais. Okay? There's another important point I want to make here, okay? There are certain times where we can't use ne. This is when the verb that it precedes either starts with a vowel or a muted H, okay? In this case, we replace the ne with an N apostrophe, and this is called an elision. And the reason we do this is very simple. It's because it sounds really weird having 2 vowels next to each other in French, okay? It becomes kind of a weird tongue twister. It's difficult to pronounce. So we simply cut the ne, the E off, and replace it with an apostrophe. Let me give you 2 sentences as an example. J'aime ce livre. J'aime ce livre. So again, we sandwich the verb, but we're just going to use the N apostrophe here. Je n'aime pas ce livre. Je n'aime pas ce livre. Okay? If we had kept the ne, it would have sounded weird. It would have been je ne aime pas ce livre. It doesn't work well in French, and this is why we use elisions, okay? It's to make it roll off the tongue a little bit easier. Je n'aime pas ce livre. Je n'aime pas ce livre. Okay? How about with a muted H? Il habite dans cette maison. Il habite dans cette maison. Okay? In this case, it's the same thing. We would say il n'habite pas dans cette maison. Il n'habite pas dans cette maison. Is that understood? So I want to go over one more important point before we move to the conversational French, okay? When your sentence has a reflective verb, which has a reflective pronoun, we have to keep the pronoun glued to the verb, okay? They cannot come apart. The ne and the pas have to be on the outside of this team, okay? So it's ne, reflective pronoun, reflective verb, and then pas, okay? That sounds complicated, but let me show you a few examples. You'll understand what I mean here, okay? Je me lève tôt. I wake up early, okay? Me lève is a reflective verb. The me needs to stay with the verb. They stay stuck together. So to turn this into a negative sentence, we need to say je ne me lève pas tôt. Je ne me lève pas tôt. Je ne me lève pas tôt. Okay? We say a little bit fast sometimes. Doesn't matter. Here, I just want you to understand the structure, okay? Let's look at another one. Il se rase le visage. Il se rase le visage. What would you do here? Right, so you keep le se and rase glued together, and you put the ne and the pas on the outside. So, il ne se rase pas le visage. Il ne se rase pas le visage. Okay? And one last one. Elle se lave les mains. Elle se lave les mains. Okay? In this case, you would say, to turn it to a negative, you would say, elle ne se lave pas les mains. Elle ne se lave pas les mains. Okay? Now, for conversational French. And day-to-day conversations with people, and even with texting, okay? Sometimes our texting is very casual. In these situations, we simply cut out the ne completely, okay? We like to make things easier and shorter when you talk. So in these cases, we cut the ne to make a negative sentence. However, in written French, emails, work reports, school reports, you absolutely need to keep the ne and the pas for a correct sentence, okay? This is grammatically correct, so make sure you keep both of those. But in spoken French, we completely cut it out. So let me give you two examples, okay? Il fait ses devoirs, okay? The correct way to do a negative sentence here would be il ne fait pas ses devoirs. Il ne fait pas ses devoirs. But in spoken French, we're simply going to cut out the ne, and it's going to sound like il fait pas ses devoirs. Il fait pas ses devoirs. Il fait pas ses devoirs. Okay? We just cut the ne out. Let's look at one more example. J'aime cette chanson. J'aime cette chanson. I like this song. The proper way to do a negative sentence here would be je n'aime pas cette chanson. Je n'aime pas cette chanson. Remember, we needed to do the elision here. Okay? In conversational French, however, it's going to be j'aime pas cette chanson. J'aime pas cette chanson. Okay? Notice that we did the elision here with the subject pronoun, with the je, because saying je aime pas cette chanson is really awkward. We cut the e and we put an apostrophe. So it's simply j'aime pas cette chanson. J'aime pas cette chanson. Okay? So that's it for today. I hope I was helpful. If you have any questions, be sure to write them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them, okay? And be sure to subscribe if you found this video was useful for you, okay? Merci beaucoup les amis. À la prochaine.